Hey YouTube, Kiratoi here, bringing you all an update to my Lunalight Yugioh deck profile for post-Duelist Advance. We got some pretty awesome new Lunalight support in the latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set, including some new main deck monsters, a new Lunalight spell, and even some extra deck monsters, including the new boss monster, Lunalight Liger Dancer. All working very, very well. Tried to go for as pure of a variant form of the Lunalight deck as I could. I know there are some versions where you can mix in some of the beast archetypes that we have in the game and beast warrior types to have a consistent rank 4 engine, but want to focus more on the fusion engine like the deck was originally meant to be played. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the main deck monsters. We have a new one that is a secret rare, being Lunalight Gold Leo. Ideally, you do want to run 3 copies of this card. Only have the one though, but still, if you get more, you can just substitute it in for one of your other Lunalight cards. If this card's normal or special summon, you can add one Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand, except for Gold Leo, then discard one card. If a Lunalight monster is sent to the graveyard while this card is in your monster zone, even during the damage step, you can target one of them, add to your hand. You can only use this effect of Lunalight Gold Leo once per turn. So this is the send and recover power that you have thanks to Gold Leo. Also having the additional search power when it's just normal or special summon makes it basically the Stratos of the Lunalight deck, being able to search out whichever Lunalight resource you need for your play, and then having that additional setup from this card being in the monster zone. We're also running 3 copies of Lunalight Kaleido-Chick, still one of the best Lunalights in the deck. Once per turn, you can send one Lunalight monster from your deck or extract to the graveyard, which will then also in turn activate Gold Leo for the send effect. And then also with this card, the name of this face-up card on the field can be treated as the sent monster if used as fusion material. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one polymerization in your graveyard, add to your hand. You can only use this effect of Kaleido-Chick once per turn. And if this card's banished, you can activate this effect this turn. Your opponent's card effects cannot be activated during the battle phase, which can be used when we go for the banish power for our Lunalight fusions in the form of Wolf being used for the summon. And Kaleido-Chick also being able to send and count as names helps for us to make Lunalight Liger Dancer, since we can just send off the Lunalight Leo Dancer to the graveyard, since we need Leo Dancer to be able to make Liger Dancer. It's a little more difficult just to go for the fusion way, since we don't have Panther Dancer in the extra deck. Just to climb up all the way from Cat Dancer to Panther Dancer to Leo Dancer makes it all the more difficult, so you can just use Kaleido-Chick to become the name of Leo Dancer and then use her to make Liger Dancer. And then the last of the 3 ofs are 3 copies of Lunalight Tiger. Once per turn, you can target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but cannot attack, and its effects are negated. Also destroyed during the end phase. And if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard and special summon it. Going as effect of Tiger once per turn, but it's just more of a resource grab, as mentioned before. You need a good number of monsters to make Liger Dancer, including 3 Lunalight monsters and Leo Dancer. So having this set up with Tiger always does come in handy. And then the additional destruction play to special summon one as well using this card. We're also running 2 copies of the new Lunalight Silverhound. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon one Lunalight monster from your deck, except for Silverhound. You cannot special summon from the extra deck except Lunalight monsters while you control that face-up monster. And when a spell or trap card is activated on the field, quick effect, you can banish this card one Lunalight fusion monster from your graveyard, negate the activation. You can only use each effect of Silverhound once per turn. Having an actual negate in a Lunalight deck definitely is useful now in the form of Silverhound. And then the added special summon resource, as mentioned, works very well, just like Tiger having that special summon option to give you more and more Lunalight monsters on the field to use. We're also running 2 copies of Yellow Martin. With this card, if it's in your hand or graveyard, you can target a Lunalight card you control, except Yellow Martin, return it to the hand, and special summon this card in defense, but banish this card when it leaves the field. And if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add one Lunalight spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So giving us another option to add cards like Lunalight Masquerade, the new continuous spell, to our hand is another big help thanks to Yellow Martin. And then just more recycle power and add back power using this card also. With the 1-ofs for the deck being 1 Crimson Fox, I thought of running the green Lunalight. If you want, you can always replace Crimson Fox with that 1 monster instead, and then the 1 Black Sheep for the added polymerization search, and the Lunalight Wolf to have the needed Miracle Fusion play, which all these can be searched out with our 3 of Lunalight Golden Leo if need be. And then the rest of the main deck monsters include just the hand hand trap lineup of 3 Duelist and the 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Just the standard number of hand traps for the deck to be able to respond against our opponent if they go first against us. For the spells, we're running 3 copies of Lunalight Masquerade. During your main phase, if this card is activated this turn, you can send 1 Lunalight monster from your deck to the graveyard. If you fusion summon a Lunalight monster, you can add 1 Polymerization from your graveyard or banishment to your hand. Then you can discard 1 card. And if you do, if you fusion summon a Lunalight monster this turn, you can also banish monsters from your graveyard as material. So once again, using Polymerization as the material for this card gives you that added resource by being able to use the graveyard for those monsters. So the more you build up, it almost acts like a second Lunalight Wolf to be able to use those monsters for fusion material. We're also running the 3 copies of Lunalight Perfume. While not a Lunalight card, since there is a space between Luna and Light, it's still great to target a monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then you can banish this card from your graveyard, then discard 1 card to add 1 Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand, which then we can also have additional search power in the deck once this card is set up in the graveyard. So very useful to rely on that special summon and then banish, add back power as well. We're also running the 1 Lunalight Fusion and the 1 Polymerization as well. Polymerization just being the search and setup with our other Lunalight cards and then being able to be recycled and basically treated as a Miracle Fusion with Lunalight Masquerade. I have a Lunalight Fusion in here just as an additional option, being able to use monsters from our deck or extra deck if our opponent controls a special summon monster. If you didn't want to run Fusion, you can always bump up the copy of Foolish Burial Goods we're running in the deck to 3 to work well with the Lunalight Perfume. But player choice with that selection. And then 3 copies of Fire Formation Tenki. Just more search power, being able to add the majority of the different Lunalight monsters that we run in the deck to the hand with just the use of a continuous spell. The 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. As I mentioned before, this could be a 3 of. If you want to run 3 copies of this card, you can just drop down the Lunalight Fusion for a 3rd copy of this card. But once again, Foolish Burial Goods can just be used to send Perfume to the graveyard, then banish this card, discard 1 card, and add a Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand. So you have another search option for your Lunalight cards. And then the 1 copy of Foolish Burial and the 1 Call by the Grave to finish off the main deck spells as well, with the only traps running in the deck being the 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence to use along with our other hand traps, Duelist and Ash Blossom in the main deck. For the extra deck, we run 1 copy of the new boss monster, Lunalight Liger Dancer. It must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials, unaffected by card effects except Lunalight cards. It can make a 2nd attack during each battle phase and once per turn. Quick effect, you can send 1 Lunalight monster from your extra deck to the graveyard to destroy all opponents' special summon monsters. Being able to then just have a 2nd attack during each battle phase, destroy all your opponents' special summon monsters, just means this card could be your potential game winner. It's also unaffected by your by card effects except Lunalight cards, making it just all the more difficult to get over thanks to this boss monster. 2 copies of the new Lunalight Perfume Dancer. If this card is fusion summoned, needing 2 Lunalight monsters, you can add 1 Lunalight Perfume from your deck to your hand, and you can target 1 other Lunalight card you control, return it to the hand / extra deck, then you can special summon 1 Lunalight monster from your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard. This turn, all monsters your opponent controls lose attack equal to their original defense. Equal usage effect of Perfume Dancer once per turn. So it's basically in the name, with Lunalight Perfume Dancer being able to have an actual search for our needed 1 of spell. Since this card can't be searched by other Lunalight cards, we now have a new fusion monster, which after you make just 2 monsters to fusion summon it out, be able to search that spell for additional plays, being able to grab back the resources we used for the fusion summon using this monster. We're also running the 1 copy of the original Cat Dancer, which can still be used for the tribute multiple attack option play. Leo Dancer to send off of the Lunalight Kaleido Chick to then count as the name to then summon out for Liger Dancer. And then the 1 Lunalight Saber Dancer needing 3 Lunalight monsters. It's one of my favorites to make off of the Lunalight Fusion, just all the easier to then set up additional monsters needing 3 Lunalights, and then also being able to have this card cannot be targeted with card effects for added protection for a bigger boss monster. For the Link monsters, 1 copy of SP Little Knight, the 1 IP Masquerena, the 1 Dark the Dark Charmer, Gloomy, and then the 1 Nightmare Unicorn. Just a small Link package to use with our monsters as well, with our Xyz monsters being 1 Exciton Knight, 1 Dugaris, 1 Tornado Dragon, the 1 Baguska, and then the 1 Zeus. Just for, once again, the rank 4 engine being one of the more common ones to be able to summon out in the deck. I know we have some level 3s, but most of the time, the rank 4 engine can be found easier with just some of the other cards we run in the deck. And then as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, setup and search is one of your bigger plays in the deck. So whether you have one of your search engines you can use, Tenki being able to search out and go for your main searcher, Gold Leo, means that when you summon this card, being able to add a Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand, except for Gold Leo. So then with this additional search and setup, you can go for more of the setup you have for your cards, depending on what you want to use for your play. You can go for the additional summon, or you can go for the added setup for your Lunalight cards as well, being able to add that card to your hand as well. But the main play would also be your fusion summon, so then you can use your Gold Leo to add your Black Sheep to your hand, discard the Black Sheep to then search out your Polymerization. Use Polymerization for the fusion play. If you have the one additional Lunalight monster in your hand, you'll get the added search and setup, being able to use cards as well for that play. So if you have Kaleido Chick in your hand, it's all the better, because then you'll have the added search pack power for the Polymerization, then being able to go for the fusion play into your Perfume Dancer. And if it's fusion summon, being able to add Lunalight Perfume from your deck to your hand. So then you can search out your spell using this card as well. Then being able to target another Lunalight card you control, return it to the hand or extract. To special summon a Lunalight monster from your hand can be an additional resource, but you can grab the Perfume to then summon back the Kaleido Chick onto the field. And then from there, being able to send a Lunalight monster from your deck or extract to the graveyard, and then this card becomes that name. So then you can send your Leo Dancer to the graveyard. So not only do you have the Leo Dancer set up in the graveyard, if you were to go for that fusion play, you can also have it count as the name or the Kaleido Chick on the field, which then you have the 2 monsters on the field and enough monsters in the graveyard if you have the Miracle Fusion play to use with Lunalight Wolf, or if you have your Masquerade with the Polymerization you added back to your hand, being able to then send the Polymerization to then add the discard, or once if you fusion summon Lunalight monsters, being able to also banish monsters, gives you those monsters on the field and the ones in the graveyard to then be able to use to summon out your bigger boss monster, Lunalight Yugioh Dancer. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, very awesome new support for the Lunalight deck, making it all the more fun for the Fusion variant to be able to give a try. And as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.